the commission meeting Thursday, February 9th, 2023. Could each person state their name?
Jonathan Day.
Matthew Buckley.
Layla Hammer.
Terry Hayward Olivas. And does anyone have anything to contribute or add to the meeting minutes for December 8th, 2022? Okay. We do a motion to approve the minutes for that meeting.
So moved. I moved to approve the minutes.
My second.
Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. Should we start with the monument? Yeah, would you like to tell us a little bit about?
Be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about that monument. I wasn't here to give our blessing that they're welcome to move it. We have no qualms with moving it over to the back into the trustee property, but as far as the monument, I don't know. I live right down the street from it. I don't know.
And from a review perspective, I mean, it's a self-standing monument that can be relocated. It's not intrusive, and that would be fine. It's just because it, in a sense, almost like a new structure that the hack review, but I don't see any reason from the guidelines or standards perspective of not approving.
Is there anything as far as the material of the base or?
No, I think it's, yeah, I think it's an existing one, and when they're, it's already refurbished and relocated, I think it's fairly standard in terms of what they would be doing, and the monument, I think, would be something similar in terms of what they're proposing.
Where they're moving it, they're just moving it further back there, or leaving it there.
Yeah, it's pretty inconspicuous where it's currently located.
And I just thought where they're gonna clean it up, right? I mean, it's the pictures.
Yeah, I took a look at it today. So as far as what I'm understanding, the monument will be moved and set on a new stone base.
Right, it's on city property now. They just want permission to move it on the trustee property. Like I say, I don't know the history of it because it's not really ours.
Questions? Concerns?
No, I think it's great.
It's pretty, yeah.
I think so too.
It's been a better location.
Absolutely. Seems to have some-
That's a nice 10-inch base, and it's a stone base, so it's all kind of.
And, I call for a motion to approve the relocation of the monument to the Very Cutoff Lot.
I move to approve the existing things.
It's the
Yeah.
Delaware Society of Colonial Wars.
Okay. Delaware Society of Colonial Wars monument be moved to the Great Cutoff Lot location and sit and place on the existing. We'll sit on top of the monument. Sorry, I apologize.
I sorry, yes.
Oh, that's right. All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, this is my first. year, so bear with me, please.
Okay.
Great.
Great.
You take care.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah.
So next up is at 120 the Strand for addition of a garden shed. And would you like to tell us a little bit about what you'd like to do?
Well, my property has got a pretty big yard, it's a half acre. I like to do my own garden work and ultimately I'd like to purchase a riding mower. I need a place to store it, so I can get a small shed to put in the backyard to be able to store my garden equipment. I intend to just place it right across the fence from the neighbor's shed, so back to back sheds essentially. So that's it. I think I included pictures and everything in the paperwork.
Yeah, and one of the questions that you'd asked, and I don't know if you confirmed that was added here, to confirm what's the. Okay, it's all wood, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure, whatever is going to be needed to comply, yeah. The one I selected is needed.
Okay, yeah, because on the drawings, it says LP Smart Sign.
Yeah, I don't know why, that was provided by the vendor, but
Okay, yeah.
it's actually, yeah,
Okay,
Oh, good. Nothing
Yeah.
else, like,
yeah.
because I'm sure, I think the structure here is just something on vinyl.
yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah. No, I made sure, I read all the rules for the town, and so, when that was wood.
And that can be written in the motion. I mean, it's, the materials are. Yeah, I mean, that was the one, so you clearly know to disregard the big yellow sign that's in line.
Once I get it, I'm gonna make sure that so I intend to paint it the exact same color of my house, so everything will match perfectly.
Looks fairly similar to the one. The neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, well, you pick one that's will match everything.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great.
And if you're doing that, I know that on the plan, you had option 1, option 2 for the location, and you picked which one?
So. I picked the one option that's back to back of my neighbor's shed is my first choice. I know there's like rules about, like seeing something from the yard, like my yard's pretty exposed. So I picked option 2 in case like option 1 would be approved for some reason. That's my preferred one, but I could put it farther back in that other spot.
And option 1 is the one that's next, it's adjacent to your neighbors, right?
Correct, yes.
Yes.
Any reason why his option 1 would be a problem?
No, I was just trying because it's in the,
Yeah, no, I just.
no, it's.
So I picked that because I saw in the documentation it said, it shouldn't be able to see it from the street or whatever. But pretty much you can see my whole yard from the street, so.
Yeah. And if it's stuck to street, and also if the materials are appropriate and things like that, I think that would be fine. And the question is just how it's. Because Hat can always stipulate the setback from the fence, right, you wanted to, and you're thinking of putting it, how many feet away from the fence? I think, well, you have a bush there, right? I'm looking at the right picture.
So that bush, there's a big bush there, that would be removed, and that would basically go in that spot. I was thinking just putting it, the neighbor's shed right now it's less than 2 feet, it's really close to the
Yeah.
fence. I was gonna put like probably 2 or 3 feet, so I got enough room to go behind it and do work,
I think 3 feet probably, and that would be fair, and that would work also with the building permit, so yeah. I mean, I would say improving it with wood material option 1 at the location, 3 feet away from the fence would be something that would meet the guidelines. And I appreciate the detail in the application.
This is my first time going through this, so I wanted to make sure everything was good.
Of course, your first time going through, may I ask, did the application form seem fairly straightforward and clear in terms of what was needed? We're always looking for room for improvement.
No, I think so, it was, yeah, that was okay, I think. It's just. I just wanted to, I wasn't sure in the process, like. I just wanted to confirm before I did the application, like, and I got the confirmation from the office that I needed to do the application for the shed and everything. county side, is it said you didn't need to do something, but I'm like, well, but I'm in this historical area, so.
Any additional comments, questions?
Yes.
Very great.
So then, motion to approve a garden shed with, wood siding, 3 foot setback from the fence for 120 the Strand.
So I'm going to approve the wood, the shed with wood siding, 3 feet off the fence, for 120 Strand. Great.
And I second that.
All in favor? Great.
Don't mind, I have a, for me to the next step.
Yeah.
What's my next step? I'm just like looking to pay the application, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
on the next step, you would just have all
Mayor's
the building,
office.
yeah, you have the okay to go to building permits, so you can check with Marika, she has it by hat, so then it's all just about getting the construction permit.
okay,
And, yeah, that's it.
thank you very much.
Good.
And last but not least, we have a consultation for 37 to the lots of 37 to 39 West Third Street. The various comments for the 2 homes on that lot. Welcome back.
Thanks. What is a consultation exactly?
Well, and that's what I want to say, Mr. Diaz was really good about reaching out when we talked about last time, revising the drawings and sending them out, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get back to you as diligently, but I did sort of take a look at them. So the process now is, if this is looked at and approved for the concept, and there's agreement on the materials, the next step was PAC can make a recommendation to say that when the drawings for the building permit are ready, if they conform with the concept that was presented here, it can be processed administratively, because these are concept drawings, not the building permit drawings. But if you prepare the building drawing permits with the architect or engineer, you present them to Jeff, and I could look at them and say, yes, they match the concept that was approved by the HAC. Then it can be mentioned in the motion that if everything matches the materials, the scale, then that can be dealt with administratively, which is a tier 1 approval, which means I could sign off on it and it would just go to whatever needs to be done for building permit. So that would be the next step.
Okay.
So I think, do you want to sort of do a brief recap about the changes between the one that were initially submitted and the latest drawings that you sent that were dated mid-January?
Okay. This may be the third revision. I don't think I submitted the first one. The first one was a typical 2.5 story with the dormer.
Yeah.
And then for different reasons, I modified it, took the third floor off. We made the house deeper to make up the square footage, living space. And then you requested that we take down the height of the house in the rear section. So initially it was 2 stories all the way to the back, 25, 50 feet. Now we have 2 stories for only, what is it, 40 feet?
Yeah, it's not on the sketch that I have. It doesn't show the full depth on the sketch that I have. I just have it's
We have the plans.
the January, the January drawings that I have that were provided with us are the 1 page. But not the detailed plan.
You didn't get that?
These are the ones that I got to Marika, and then not the ones that have been shared with
You want a paper copy?
if you have a paper copy, you can bring it up and, well, I mean, we have these, but these don't correspond to, this is the older, this is the, these are the new, this is the new one with the different, with the lower height at the peak. These are the January drawings that I've got.
Okay.
Those pieces.
We should find the condition of the violation. No, that's the problem.
Well, we have the floor plan.
Everything's here,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it matches what's here, correct?
Yes.
I think it's,
Oh,
yeah, we can bring here and I can. Do you have the plans too? That's also very good. Be revising and not update them. Because this is still showing the 50 feet. So those are ones that we have that are in progress.
Well, they just stick them on the first floor. Yeah, this is people. I guess I only have one copy, these are the old ones.
But you have. Are those
There's
also
a
the
lot
old
of
ones?
letters. I think
Yeah, what date is that?
This one.
We get paper copies anymore.
December 22, so this is, I think, maybe these are one, because the revised plan that I have. Which is this one, these are the latest one, the January 16th.
Okay, well, that's the one.
So these are the ones that really show the lowest height.
I wish one was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so our peak is at 25. I'm just confirming that it's not noted there. I just want to make sure that we're looking at the same thing before. And now we have 50, we have a portion that's just the one story. At the back of it extends. The back is the one story with a porch. Which presumably then that is a starting point here. So now the second floor is 40. And then behind that stack is down here 25 feet, so yeah, this kind of corresponds to this.
right, yeah, this height here.
The height is in line with the.
Yes, originally, the neighboring house was at 24, and when they first came in, they were coming in at 28, and they came down.
Took the ceiling height of the first floor back on.
That's what it is, yeah.
And we'll keep the house as low as possible, but we're in the floodplain, and I have mandatory. And next year it's basically like we're in the floodplain, so I'm starting out a little higher. than
The initial-
doing the best we can.
Yeah, the initial design had come at a peak of ridge of 28 feet. This design is coming in at a peak of ridge of 25,
Okay,
25.4.
and that's in line with.
The adjacent house is 24, and then the house on the other side is a little bit taller, so you're within the realm.
Okay.
And the previous concept of an improvement of 26.
Okay.
And then the other thing is there's also the fact that the massing, which originally had been just this mass going straight across and being fairly heavy for 50 feet. Which originally was this, is now a mass that's now dropped. So now it's actually just for 40 feet, and then it drops down to one story, and then there's the porch. So it's kind of reduced the massing, and we do understand that these are two paired townhouses, so it's kind of, you have to be able to do some of the depth. But overall, the scale and the front is all wood windows, wood siding. And the side is also shown up as, it's wood siding. I guess it's wood siding on the side that's most visible, and it's hardy siding on the other side, because that's on the narrow alley.
Yes.
So all the parts that are visible from above,
Yes.
which means
And the
these,
rear,
yeah, and the rear is also,
40, I believe.
I thought I sent you a list.
it's not
Here,
a
yeah.
documentation that I have. Yes. And the architectural sheet on the back is hardy, but it's the back that's kind of the recessed elevation. The windows are wood,
Yes.
yeah, and then the porch is also wood.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know there'll be public comment, but I think from a perspective of the concept,
Mhm.
the issue of the height has been reduced. The issue of the heavy massing has been reduced from the drop to the back. Because these are two narrow townhouses. The fact that they're slightly deeper, that's consistent with other, with other places within Newcastle, and also the adjacency. It pops up a little bit further back from the neighbor, but not too much, and it's sort of gradually going towards the center, but in a more respectful scale overall. From the perspective of the materials, all the areas visible from the public right of way, wood windows, that's all acceptable. The fact that it's already on the alleyway that's narrow with the other neighbor and not as visible, that's been deemed acceptable, particularly since this is new construction. And the fact that it's already on the second story that's further back, but the porch on the back part is all wood. That's also consistent with the guidelines.
So as a consultation, do we need to approve this, or is it more of just kind of discussion, kind of a thank you for making the accommodations?
As part of a consultation, HAC in the past can say the concept is approved. If the building, which actually there are, these are pretty close to being permit drawings. And it can be said that if the permit drawings, when they're submitted for permit, match the concept in terms of the sizes, dimensions, the massing and the material, then it would be appropriate for it to be approved as a tier 1. Which would be which is myself and Jeff. And it would be appropriate for it to have an administrative review.
In other words, we would not come forward.
Yes, but should there be changes in the mapping, in the plan, and the materials, then the application would have to be resubmitted to HAC.
Will you be seeing what's submitted? or is
Yes.
that good, Jeff?
Yes, all the applications that come in are copied to me.
Okay.
I make the determination if they're tier 1, they get reviewed, and typically I do that twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month. And that's sent in part of the file, and Marika reaches out. And if it's something that like the shed, it comes to me, I review it, but I say this needs to go to HAC because it's a new construction, thing like that, and then it comes, and that's part of my review. I indicate this needs to be reviewed by HAC. And then that's put on the agenda. So yeah, this would be copied to me. Marika sends me all copies of all the building permits that are required for review.
So we can just say, thank you for the accommodation, based on what we've seen, based on the information we have, we think that it's appropriate to move forward as a tier 1 recommendation, and then
Yeah, as long, and you have to just stipulate as long as it matches
right.
the concept presented today in terms of design, shape, scale, dimensions, and materials.
Right. Okay.
And then just make a note that should anything that changes be, then the application would have to come back to HAC for another review.
Yeah,
Almost.
okay. Should say that.
This is a lot that had that tree that we were afraid of.
I'm sorry?
It was.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is that lot. And I think you got all the approvals for because last time it was the splitting of the lot.
Right.
The division, I should say,
Yeah, right.
it would be subdivision.
Right. Okay, cool.
And then I don't know if there any public comment about this.
Are there any public comments? Anyone like to share? No?
The letter should be read into the minutes.
Okay, do we need to read? the
We don't need a motion then. We don't need a motion.
Well, you will need, well, you're not approving it.
No.
But you can, because you are approving the fact that it can go, I think you will need a motion to say that the concept as presented is approved in terms of scale and dimensions and materials. And if the building permit comes reflecting the same, then it can be approved as a tier 1 review. Should there be any changes then, because it is, that's what's been done in the past. That was the whole point of setting these consultations up so that it can allow the process to move faster. Now, in terms of the letters, they were attached to the agenda, but there was letters that were sent, I don't know as a matter of process, if they need to be read into the record, or if they're just attached to the minutes and thus, I don't know. Attached to the.
public comment records.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
There's some
have
letters in
them.
Here, they weren't.
There's three letters. Yes.
So no dates ever.
Yeah, this was when there was the initial,
Okay.
the August
So-
drawing.
I think that typically they are read into, they are read into the record, but they're not detailed verbatim in the minutes. So you would want to read them into the record, just saying who they're from and
And the data.
in the date.
Okay, so the first letter we have is from Susan and Joseph Campbell. Yes, should read their address. and everything as well.
Yeah, the address would be good, yeah.
Okay, at 47 West Fourth Street in historic Newcastle. The date of this letter is September 5th, 2022. And the memo here is the application for 37 to 39 West Third Street. It is addressed to the members of HAC, and do you need me to read the whole letter aloud? Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Instead of just summarizing, all right. Dear members of HAC, I'm writing to you because I am concerned about the plans for new construction for the plots of 37 to 39 West Third Street. Even though the present meeting seems not to be dealing with the actual construction of the two new buildings, it is important to make a major concern known to you at this time. Reviewing what happened with the new construction of 46 West Third Street, it was quite apparent that at that past HAC meeting that some building exceptions were made, which I don't believe adhered to the guidelines. In fact, I remember at that HAC meeting that the town architect continually reminded every member of the committee that some of the requests did not adhere with the guidelines. But much of the work was approved anyway. So now, on the side of West Third Street, we have one tall three-story structure that stands out and doesn't fit the block historically or aesthetically. So here we are again, building on that same block, but on the odd side. Are you going to allow two more buildings that are too tall compared to the rest of the block? The HAC website states, new construction should be compatible with neighboring properties. The guidelines also state, the design should be in harmony with neighboring properties and the Newcastle area as a whole. A three-story tall building is not compatible with neighboring properties. A repetition of the height that was approved for 46 West Third Street for this new construction would be another glaring abnormality. Although I am very happy to have two wonderful neighbors at the 46 West Third Street address, that house doesn't fit with the rest of the neighborhood. It is too tall. I do remember the architect reminding you at that earlier HAC meeting concerning the building of 46 West Third of the unforeseen consequences of your approving things that don't adhere to the guidelines. To paraphrase what she said, if you allow this now, someone in the future will use this decision to demand another exception to the guidelines. Is this going to happen with these two new buildings? Exceptions are permitted because exceptions were made in the past. So I'm reminding you to continually refer the HAC guidelines. Adhere to the guidelines and really listen to the architect's words. You expect the town residents to do that. Windows must be wooden, screen doors must be wooden, etc. Don't build more tall buildings that are not compatible with the neighboring properties and height. I think that West 3rd Street is looking less and less historical because of decisions being made. Sincerely, Susan and Joseph Campbell. So we have the second letter from Guido Campanelli. This was received. This is an email. It was sent Friday, September 16th, 2022. It says, "Dear Marika, thank you for your quick follow-up. I appreciate your service to the community. My grandfather and father both served on the City of Newcastle Council, and I understand the dedication and commitment it takes from their examples of service to the community. As a property owner on West Third Street, residents on West Third Street and West Fourth Street have approached me regarding the recent Historic Area Commission application for the proposed construction on 37 through 39 West Third Street. I was informed previous buyers of the property were intending to build a property on the lot that did not conform to the existing street roof line and similar housing structures adjacent to these lots. It is my understanding the previous buyers decided not to build on the lots after not receiving the approval from PAC for the large-scale building plans they proposed. The potentially impacted citizens on Third Street appreciated the commitment and oversight from the members of the Historic Area Commission regarding this matter. Recently, Francis de Escanes has requested an exception to the existing common lot line to make equal frontage and area and construction of a new semi-detached dwelling on each lot. The requested building plans will be able to validate the square footage, and if the new proposal from Mr. de Escanes will conform to the adjacent roof lines and adjacent size of the existing homes. There is significant concern from the citizens of West Third Street, Fourth Street, and now citizens from Delaware Street regarding the most recent events concerning these lots. Please contact me if you have any questions. Respectfully, Guido Campanelli.
If I may, because these are being built right into the record, I would just like to make a point of clarification. The email references that the previous buyers decided not to build after not receiving the approval from HAC for the large scale. That is incorrect. They revised their design, they redid it, they went to extensive consultation, they brought down the height about 2 feet to 26. That design was approved. It's just when they were getting into the specifications and the floodplain issue that they decided not to do construction. But the revised detail after extensive consultation had been approved. This would work.
Lastly, we have an email sent from Leah Reynolds and Marianne Riley. This was sent on September 18th, 2022. To all, as a property owner on West Fourth Street, I am deeply concerned regarding the recent Historic Area Commission application for the proposed construction on 37 through 39th West Third Street. I was informed previous buyers of the property were intending to build a property on the lot that did not conform to the existing street roof line and similar housing structures adjacent to these lots. It is my understanding the previous buyers decided not to build on the lots after not receiving approval from HAC for the large-scale building plans they proposed. The potentially impacted citizens on Third Street appreciated the commitment and oversight from the members of the Historic Area Commission regarding this matter. Recently, Francis de Escanes has requested an exception to the existing common lot line to make equal frontage and area and construction of a new semi-detached dwelling on each lot. The requested building plans will be available, will be able to validate the square footage and the new proposal from Mr. de Escanes. Will conform to the adjacent roof lines and adjacent size of the existing homes. There is significant concern from the citizens on West Third Street, Fourth Street, and now citizens from Delaware Street regarding the most recent events concerning these lots. Respectfully, Leah Reynolds and Marianne Riley at 29 West Fourth Street. I think the same issue that
The previous
Leah,
approval.
yes, applies to this as well. But it was approved, the design was approved after revision. So,
I apologize for the paper shuffling noise behind it.
That's okay.
I didn't realize you felt like you're not stuck in between like. Stop.
no, that's fine, you're at. So, sorry, I feel like we got a little off track with that. Now that these have been read into the record, do you have any questions, concerns?
I would just like to have, if you, just a suggestion, when you discuss with your architect, that the side elevation, has just the two small windows at the first floor and no windows at all on the upper level. Just to see if they might consider looking at the addition of some windows on that side. I know it's a blank wall. I mean, the materials are, it's just. Because that's just it's very visible, so just talk with the architect if potentially, he was thinking of putting windows on those side windows, I think. That would lighten me up, just when they look at it, so that would be a suggested recommendation to add some windows on the side elevation that's seen from the property.
Which elevation was it?
That-
Sometimes when you're too close to a property line, for fire rating purposes, you can't.
No, they're both on both sides. That's the alleys, which I understand, but I'm thinking about the one that's
Okay.
visible. Yeah, so what he's calling the left side view. So I think he's talking, and in the plan, you can see it, it's, he just mirrored it, so I think if you could look on the side view, which will be visible when coming back, so if you can add, and there's room to add, maybe with that one, and just add some also. in the section.
See, we have. Yeah, we can, there's a
Yeah.
bedroom here. There's already two
Yeah, I
bedrooms there. We can
think
do
it's more on this, that's it, on this side, if you could add them, I think it'll just,
Okay.
it'll bring more light also, and just animate the elevation on the first and the second floor.
So in the letters expressing concern, you're just expressing the height, but that height has been, in this case,
Yes.
has been, so.
The letters are dated September,
so-
the thing that we had looked at before had the height at 28 feet. And then an initial sketch was like 26.5. Now the peak ridge is at 25.
So it's just somewhat, either have or greatly.
Yeah.
Appease that concern.
Yes, it's been
Okay.
reduced, so it is trending a little bit high, but there's also one that's slightly a little bit higher on the other side. And it's more in sequence with a slight rise towards Delaware Street, which is the normal sort of progression that you would
Right.
have.
Okay, cool.
And it is based on the drawing, it is the peak, it's the ridge point that's at 25, thus the E will be lower. And the massing is also less of a monolith on 2 stories.
All right, so. If we can call for a motion to approve this concept as, or would we say for review as, or for approval as a tier 1?
You say you're approving this concept for the scale.
Okay. So we're-
Ridge height and materials. And then you can say that when the building permit application is submitted. And that's one that's gonna come for the actual historic review certificate. You can say that if it is determined, by the city official and the architect, that it matches exactly the concept was approved. Then the certificate can be processed as a tier 1 administrative review. That should there be any changes in scale, materials.
Then it comes back to us. Okay. So. See if I can get more of this in here. So a motion to approve this concept, scale the ridge height at 25 feet, 4 inches, the materials. So long as the permit drawings match this in terms of design, shape, dimension, materials. It can be approved. With tier 1. And if anything changes, it has to come back to Havoc.
Can I ask you a question? You asked us to bring the height down to 26 feet.
Hmm.
You asked us to bring the height down to 26 feet. We're showing 25 now.
Yeah.
If we end up closer to 26, that's not going to be a problem.
I think 25, we said the previous one had targeted 26. I think if we stick with 25 I think that's a design. I was quite happy to see that. So I think we would like to keep the 25.
No, but as I mentioned earlier, we may end up having to have the house up a little more than we think. we're still working with the engineer on exactly how high above the floodplain, excuse me, the floodplain we need our first floor to be.
I would prefer at this point to approve the concept as it is presented, because you do have the drawings. And, you know, if that's something that needs to be a modification or change, I think at that point. It should be just revisited by half. I think that's because we do have the drawings here, we do have the dimensions, which was clearly kind of the base of the recommendation. And I think that keeps it cleaner and more streamlined. We can want to start putting exceptions to what if we need or what if we need. I think that'll be the simplest. And if we have the conversation, then it's just a question of revisiting, and if they have that determination fairly quickly, then it just comes back. In 4 weeks.
I understand.
Yeah, it's just. And I mean, you noted in the minutes, which I really appreciate, you know, the fact that like the addition of the windows that you'll be doing on the parking side elevation, that's also something that'll be us. Put the motion forward again.
I second the motion of approving the time with scale, material, design, height 25 for. Also submitted, to match, the drawings that we have when it's submitted as a permit. And smooth it on to your line. And for a second, yeah.
Everyone in favor?
Aye.
All right. That is approved. Based on those, divisions.
I appreciate the modifications and the way the redesign that was written. I know it's not easy to get all those.
Yeah, I think it'll work out.
Yeah, I think it'll be quite a nice.
Yeah, I think that was really nice in that area. So. I would like to call to make a motion to end the meeting.
Move to adjourn.
I mean, if you need them, that's fine. If you can send them electronically, just so that we can all them the same. And if they need all in favor, I know they'll come from Marika because she's like. Should be so happy. That's right. I feel like you should. Awesome.